Hi everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I'll start off. We don't have much of audience today, but we can start off with the course. So basically, I guess you might have tried installing Google Colab and like setting up Google Colab, Python, and all that stuff, right? Like at your personal PC, and we can get started with the remaining topics today. So first we'll discuss a little bit about history of Python, like what is like who created Python and uh, like little bit background on that, and then we'll move ahead and discuss about. In second, there is some issue with my slide. Yeah. So basically, it was Guido van Rossum who created Python in late 1980s. And as I mentioned yesterday, that the philosophy behind it was to make it more readable and user-friendly, like coding language. And the key power that it has, it's like web development, AI, ML tasks, it can do very seamlessly. It is versatile use and essential for automation and scripting across industries. Okay. So there is an interpreter that is called C Python, that is present in the default distribution of Python. Okay. So how it works, basically, it understands the language specification, like whatever syntax or semantics we write in the code, and we like it also plays the role of interpreter. Okay, so wherein it reads the program and execute the Python source code, and then it also has the implementation of C Python, wherein uh, actually it is written in C language, and that that is the base language for designing the C Python. So that's the reason it is called C Python. And there are other alternative implementation like PPY, Jython, and Iron Python for specific needs. Moving on to the details of C Python, so it can compile the bytecode, and after it compiles the bytecode, a PYC file is created, and then it is moved to the PVM, and that reads and runs the step-by-step Python on a specific system. There is a PyCache concept which is used to like enhance the speed of the execution, and at the end we have the C Python that can work across different platforms, be it Windows, Mac, or anything. So this is the steps of process. So once we write the code and we hit on the play button, like trigger the execution. So there, the first step is the lexical analysis that takes place, okay, where interpreter breaks the code into individual tokens like keywords, identifiers, operators. It tries to understand and creates AST, that is nothing but a tree-like structure of the workflow, like basically the workflow that we are using, or the steps the steps that are mentioned in the particular script. So it does that. Then, like followed by that, there is a bytecode compilation. AST is translated into Python bytecode. Okay, so it is .pyc file. Okay, then we have the PVM interpretation. The Python virtual machine reads and executes the bytecode. Okay, and at the end we have hardware execution. PVM instructions are run by that particular CPU, and it occupies the RAM in the particular system. So that brings us to the end of this. Now, before we start with the actual Python course, I'll just give a brief overview of command line arguments. That I hope you are able to see my screen, right? I'm not sure like if same screen is being shared.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I'll give you a brief introduction about the command line. Like maybe you will be using it more frequently. So the most common commands of command prompt are like cd, and we can just go behind that particular drive. And then we have one dir, which will give us the list of drives which is present within that particular folder. Then we can cd into that specific any folder. We just type in like that, and we can change the respective drive and go to the respective folder. Okay. So, and there is a CLS that helps us to clear the skin. So these are a couple of basic like concepts of command line arguments that you will use more frequently during your scripting journey. So that will be quite handy for you. Now moving on to the Google Colab. So I would like you all to open Google Colab at your end, so that it will be easier for you to follow and just try it like on your own. Yep. So when we move to this Google Colab, okay. So over here we have, as we discussed yesterday, like we have the cells which are meant for text, the cells which are meant for code and stuff like that, right? Okay. So first we'll type in the text part of it, and we'll start with the syntax and semantics. Okay. I'll just type. So what do we understand by syntax and semantics in Python? So basically, what syntax means, like a set of rules that needs to be followed by a specific programming language, and if it is not followed, the programming language might throw an error. Okay. So that is the meaning of syntax. And the same is something similar is semantics, wherein it actually signifies that when there is any semantic issue, like information that is required in particular script, right? Like maybe commenting in your script, giving the information what that particular line of code does. So in that case, we use semantics. Okay. Moving on to the next step. uh, we'll try to understand like what all different types of uh, syntax semantic techniques that we use in Python. So there are two ways of doing it. One is single line commenting, and the other one is multi-line. Okay. Okay. So how do we do single line commenting? So we can use hash followed by whatever this is, a single line comment. Okay. And by this, it signifies that like this particular line of code will not be seen by the compiler, and it will be considered as a no code. Okay. So whenever we have whenever a compiler sees this line of code, it will not do anything. Okay. So the way we can comment is like as we have seen yesterday, that we can print anything in the console, and okay, and we can also write comments here. Okay. So like this also, we can write the comments. Next up, we have the multi-line commenting. Okay. For that, we use triple quotes. Okay. So over here, we can write in multi-line comments, like anything. Again, if you are writing many things, like maybe this is the code used to explain what. Okay, where exactly do I? Uh, Others might have joined, like auto joined, right? How do I accept from the lobby? Just a second, guys. I'm not sure. Hey, I don't think I am able to see any notification to accept somebody. So yeah, yeah. So moving on. So we can write multi-line of code like this. Okay. So it's quite easy, right? Like maybe you cannot also practice in the same Google Colab when you try it at home. Moving on to the next step. Okay. Uh, we saw this print statement, right? Yesterday. So let's break it down. Okay. So if we see the syntax of this particular print statement, okay, so it signifies something, right? So print is a particular command followed by a parenthesis and then followed by something mentioned in the double quotes. And what it does, like it prints that particular content in the console, right? So in this particular like step, this signifies nothing but a method call. Okay, so this we call a function, like and this is how we call a function in Python. And whenever we see this like simple parenthesis followed by a particular parameter or without parameter, this means this is a function call. Okay, so this was your first code, and this is a function call. So just for your understanding, you need to keep in mind. Okay. Next up, we talk about the variables. Okay. So what are variables? Variables are nothing but kind of identifier or a label for the memory. Okay, like if we have something like some space allocated for a particular uh, data, maybe it can be any kind of data. Okay, so and we assign a particular value. So at that particular step, we create a variable. So while creating a variable, we just simply type like this. So what will happen here? X is an. So I'll discuss about the different data types later on. But what is happening here? Like X has been created, which is integer type, and the value is 10. Okay. And if we go in depth, right? So variables can be of two types. Like basically everything in Python is an object. Okay. We'll get into details what object is later point of time. But for now, like you just need to understand that everything that is there in Python is object. Okay. So if we assign a particular value to this X, this doesn't mean like that 10 is sitting somewhere like in the X. X is just a identifier. It's a kind of reference to this particular space. Okay. And that kind of variable is called immutable variable. Okay. So anything like be it integer or string or any kind of these variables, right, that we are going to discuss today on the call are immutable variable. By that, what I mean, like I'll just quickly try to present it. So the moment when we write x equal to 10, a particular space has been allocated for 10 in the RAM, okay? And that particular space is referenced by x. So what it means, so this is the value 10. It has some memory like identified memory location. And here we have x that is kind of pointing to that. Now, in the second statement, if we go ahead and type in x is equal to some string welcome. Okay. So if we type in x is equal to welcome over here, so what will happen? X will point to a different space, welcome, and the pointer. It's not called pointer basically. It's just a reference to the welcome. So what will happen? It untagged it from 10 and it's now pointing to welcome. So this feature is called immutability. Okay. By this we mean like you can never change 10. It will be in the memory. It will be garbage collector latent point in time. Okay. You can never change this. Okay. And every time we assign some value, so this is the assignment operator equal to. Okay. There is double equal to, that is a comparison operator. We'll discuss about that later point in time. But this means if for the same variable, if we assign some other value, it is just pointing to the another location in the RAM. Okay. So as just now you have seen that Python doesn't need anything like right means type specification that is required. Right. We don't type in int or anything of that sort. So I first created an int variable and then I assigned it a string value. So that is kind of acceptable in Python. The only reason why it is acceptable that it is not actually sitting in that particular space, it just keep on changing the references. So whatever I explained right now, we'll just see that with a practical example. Okay. So in order to see the memory location of X, right? So we just type in ID. Okay. Then run this line of code. Oh, I did not connect it. 1 second. Yeah. So if you print it, so this is the memory location where 10 is sitting. Okay. Now we do the same. X equal to welcome. And then we do print ID. Oh, I'm sorry, I did 10 over here, right? So X. So this is the memory location of X. Now we did X to welcome. Okay, I need to do it again, all over again. Sorry. So I assigned the value 10, then I did memory location. Okay. Then I again assigned it value welcome. And then if I do it, it has changed. So X keeps on changing when we change the value. So 10 might be still sitting there in that same memory location, right? But it might have got garbage collected or something of that sort. But the same feature, like since the same behavior, you might not see in the immutable, mutable variables, okay, where the actual content from the actual memory location can be changed. Okay. So now we'll discuss about the naming convention in Python. Okay. So Python is a case-sensitive language.
Can I just interrupt for a minute, please?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Because
Yes, Sandeep.
immutable concept is a little confusing for me. Can you please, show an example of a mutable object?
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Right.
what you explained is clear to me, but like how it works in a mutable way, that is my question.
Okay. I'll do it right away for you. Okay. So let's say, for example, we create a list. Right. Now, okay, first I need to check the ID, right? Okay, so this is the ID for this particular list.
Shouldn't it be ls? You have written x there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so this is the ls memory location. So what I by like mutable it means, right? If
Yes.
we change it, right? If we change it, not the entire variable, like maybe let's say. In this case, it might change.
Okay.
Right? It might change. But
Yes.
by mutable, what we mean, we are assigning this value to some other variable, but the memory location for this value is right like the same, and over there we can change this value, right? So for example, it has other operations in list like appending something in the list, right? In this case, it remains the same, although the list has increased. Uh, so by this we mean that it is mutable. So we in the same memory location, I was able to change it. So if we see the ls now, it has changed, right? So whatever memory location was allocated, we were able to make changes over there. So by that, it means it is mutable and it can be changed. But that was not the case in the previous situation where we were changing, like, because that exact memory location could not be changed in that case.
Okay. So can we say that the operations are mutable or immutable, and not the, let's call it an object, like ls is an object. So we can't
Yeah,
say that an object is mutable or immutable, but the operations that are being performed on them are mutable or immutable. Am I right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, right. Because we just, okay, right. I get it. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll move on and we'll discuss about the case sensitivity in Python. So if we have two variables named, so as per Python, these two would be considered as two different variables, because although it is malware, but that it is not case sensitive. Like, Python is case sensitive. So in that case, it will consider these two as a two different variables. Now, in order to know the type of a particular variable, we can just use type method. So we already created a variable, right? For example, ls. So it will give us the type, what type of variable it is. Okay. So in order to know the variable type, we can use this particular feature. Now moving on to the different data types in Python, we have integers, floats, and strings. So these are a couple of data types that, and we have Boolean. So these are a couple of data types that we'll be discussing today. So what is an integer? A whole number is called an integer. So as we can see, like these two are integer, okay, which is non-decimal, right? And when we create a new variable, so this is considered as a float. So if we check, so this is a float, okay, whereas the other two variables will be, I'm not able to add cells. Yeah. So it is an int, okay. And likewise, we can perform different types of operations on these variables. So I'll just showcase once how the string looks like, but yeah. So, and there is a Boolean, like, which is either true or false. So a, maybe z equal to true. So we always write Boolean in caps. So this is assigned a Boolean value. By default, it can be none, but it can be true or false. So, and if we check the type of it, it's Boolean. So moving on to the operators in Python. So we have multiple operators, like simple arithmetic operators like plus, minus, and for multiplication we use star, asterisk, and we have a division operator, and we have a square operator. We use double asterisk for in order to do square of particular value, and we have a modo operator, which we use for like getting the remainder. So I'll quickly show examples of these. So nothing but 5 plus 5. So this actually sums the things, and then 5 into 5. It actually multiplies 5, 5, maybe 2. I should keep it 5 itself. So it actually gives a like 5 to the power 5, and then 10 divided by 5. It goes to, and moving on, we can do a modular operator. So 11 divided by percentage by 5. It should give us 1. Next up, we have the string and string operations in Python. Okay. So starting off with creating a string. So it is a reserved text, so I can use something else. Maybe. Okay. So when we call it a string, it's nothing but collection of uh, like anything quoted within double quotes, be it text, like value, or like alphabets or anything like that. It is considered as a string in Python. And string, we can either do string like create a string like this, or we can create a string using single quotes. Sorry for the disconnection, little disconnection. Okay. So we can create in either which way, like using double quotes or single quotes, the strings is created. Okay. Now we can start with the operations. So first of all, we have a few methods that we can use on string, like for example, split. So what split does, it does nothing but splits the strings into a list. Okay. So it will split up the string on the basis of particular like splitting text, like maybe if you want to split this particular string on the basis of space, we can do that. Okay. So for example, we do split. str2 is not defined. Okay, I have not run this cell. Okay, sorry. Okay, so it has split the entire text into and placed it within a list. So list we can use learn later point in time. But now moving on, next up we have an operation that is called upper in string. So with this function, what we can do, we can convert the string to a uppercase. So it will make the entire string uppercase. And similar to that, we can use lower in order to convert the string to a lowercase. Okay. Uh, String concatenation can be done using a plus, similar to that of, like for example, str3 is equal to maybe welcome. And okay. So if we do, it will actually append these two strings. Okay. And I'm not seeing it. Okay. Now, in order to repeat up the string, we can just use asterisk. So, for example, if you want to repeat the string multiple number of times, so we do, it will do welcome, welcome. Similarly, the same operator of like to the power we can use. Okay, why it is not? Right, not the space or something. Operand. Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Divide is throwing an error. What will be power? So it is, that was correct only. Maybe we can revisit this later. Sure on this. Yeah. So these were couple of basic operations that we can perform on the string. Okay. Next up, we have like uh, formatting of the string. Okay. So if we have a variable and we want to format the string and we want to place this variable in within a particular string, we can use f. So with this, what will happen? Yeah, we can format the string. We can place any variable like this within curly braces within a string. Okay. Now indexing within a string. So what we can also do, uh, for example, we have that str3, right? We can use square bracket to get a specific index value from that string. So if you given 0, you get w. Like that. Likewise, if we want to get the last value, so we type in -1, we get e. Like that. If we do -2, we'll get second last, right? And there is a concept of step size. So in order to reverse the string, we just do this. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is what we do when we reverse a string. So uh, it's the first index from where it's basically for trimming the string, or if you want to extract some text from the string, we can use this feature wherein like the first one is the starting point of the string, the second one is the length till where we want to capture the string, and the last one is the step size. So whenever we put in -1 value in the step size, it does nothing but reverses the string. So if we try to extract something from the string, we use 0, maybe length we can give 3. So it will just extract 3 from the 0th index. So 0 is nothing but w, And from there, it will count 1, 2, 3, and it will extract that particular part of text from there. Next up, about the syntax of Python. So usually while creating blocks in other languages, we use braces. In Python, we use indentation. Okay. So this specifies that whatever is indented is within that particular block. Okay. So if we write in over here, like age 31, and then if age, so the conditional statement you will learn later point in time. So this is automatically giving an indentation. Indentation means nothing but a tab. Okay. So print age is greater than 30. Okay. So this indentation is nothing but a tab. And whatever I write following the same indentation, okay, all will be considered as within that particular block of code. Like that. So whatever is within this, like after indentation, so everything will be considered as a within the block of code. Okay. And anything beyond that will be considered outside of that block. Now moving on to another syntax concept in Python, that is line continuation. Okay. Okay. So if we want to write multi-line values in Python, so we can use a backslash. So in order to write multi-line in Python, we can use backslash. Moving on to the next topic, wherein we'll discuss how we can create multiple variables in one line. Okay. So we can assign multiple values and variables using a semicolon in Python. Sorry, let's give comma. So we can create variables in this manner in Python, wherein we can instantiate multiple variables in single line of code. So I think moving on to the next topic, that is kind of conditional operators in Python. No, sorry, comparison operator. So there are various comparison operators in Python, which is like greater than, less than, double equal to, ensures whether it is equal to that particular value or not, and like greater than equal to, and so on, less than equal to. Okay. So we'll just try to validate the comparison operator. x equal to 10, right? So we'll validate the equality. Okay. So this gives us a Boolean value, which is false. So once we compare two variables, it gives us a Boolean value in response. So now we'll compare whether it is inequality. So maybe we try it not equal to. So this symbol signifies whether the value is not equal to. Okay, I think there are some. Okay, it is working. It is working fine. Yeah. Then we can do greater than equal to, and do less than equal to, so on. Now moving on to the logical operators in Python. Okay. Okay. So in logical operators, it is already suggesting. Okay. So what we do, like when we want to combine two values, right? Like two Boolean values, and we can use logical operators. Okay, wherein we can compare like include two conditions. So and is nothing but if you want both the conditions to be true, okay, at the same time, or is basically we want either A to be true or B to be true, and like not is like we don't want a particular condition to be true. So as you can see, A and B is like both has to be true. So in that case, it has given false. Where A or B, like either can be true, it has given true. Okay. And not A. This means like not true. That means it's false. Yeah, I think that's pretty much for today's class that we had. I had any questions from anybody like that you have, or like maybe you want to discuss any of these topics, or did you face any challenges in the setup or something of that sort?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Let me go ahead.
I guess you guys are practicing this, right? Like along with me, or maybe you can create a copy of it. Is somebody speaking? I'm not able to hear it.
Yeah, I have very
Okay, second. Why am your audio? It's not.
No, it's even same for me. I can't hear him.
Oh, you're not able to hear anything?
No, I can hear you clearly. I cannot hear Vaibhav what he's
Okay,
saying. So I think the
okay,
problem
okay,
is on his end.
okay, okay.
in equivalent operator. I have some issue.
You can type in Weber. You can type your question. Yeah, yeah, that's correct. So it's equality operator that web service is existing. Did I miss that? Okay, in comparison. Okay. Okay, this one, right? Like, okay, sorry. I just did not change the comment and I kept on trying it. So that is not equality. I just kept on changing the comment. So x double equal to y is coming as false, where it compares two values as 10 and 20 are two values. It's coming as false. Okay. Okay. You mean to say like you tried? Okay. This one. So it will print the statement, right? You have not used formatting the string. So it will print the exact statement. You have to use curly braces over here. And then, no, equal square bracket. Okay. Why you want to use square bracket over here? We'll again consider it as a complete string. Okay. So it will consider this entire text as one string. So curly braces is what it respects when we use F. Okay. Yeah. This is correct. You will get this only. You have to use curly braces in order to use the placeholder. Okay, in order to place something within the string. So instead of square bracket, you just replace it with curly braces. Anything else apart from this, guys? Like from this, the things that we have discussed. Maybe you can if you are having it in your collab, you can construct in a way wherein you can convert all of these topics that we have discussed so far, right? Have difficulty while joining to 25 minutes of the session. It might be same issue for others. I'm not sure when it moving to be a meeting. Not reflecting in message. Okay. These all are working fine for you, right? You want me to print this? Like, yeah, this you want? Okay, I'll do one thing like, should I? Maybe we already have a recording. You can look into that of like the initial recordings. Like we started the class, and you might get a recording of this. You can have a look, and maybe if you have any questions, we can like discuss that tomorrow. Okay, equal colon false. Oh, yeah, this is correct, right? This is not equal. This is correct, right? Okay, fine. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, one second. Okay, I'll share the drive link itself, or maybe I'll share it via this GitHub. So these are a couple of basic topics that we have covered today. Tomorrow onwards, we'll discuss more advanced topics in Python. Okay, and I think if anybody else has any question. Okay. So in that case, I think we can close this call for today. Okay. We can meet up again tomorrow, same time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Vaibhav, you can save this. I was trying to find a way to share it with you right away. If you save it by default, it will be saved to you, like local. Maybe you can relook the entire steps. Okay. I'll try to put it in GitHub and I'll share it probably by tomorrow. You'll be having it. Okay. Okay then. Yeah. Thanks a lot, everyone. Yeah.